Joe and Sabrina, thank you again for coming on short notice. They're live. We usually have a couple viewers. During.
Why do you have your guitar with you, Joe?
I've had it on my lap for a couple hours now.
Oh, look at this guy! Look at this guy! You never know who could be browsing the Survivor live stream.
Can we have like a Survivor jam sesh soon? That'd be so fun, actually.
100%. So yeah, so we don't have a viewer yet, but I'm suspecting someone will come.
What else is new?
Hey,
be shy.
I look at these videos back. We get at least 80 people watching this. So I'm like, worth it. So welcome recording people that are watching this in the future. We have myself once again for this episode. We have Valentina. She was on a previous host show. She's back again. We have two new faces. We have Sabrina, a future contestant in a Syrvivor Syracuse season. She's here, as well as Joe, the head of film, who films the episodes and films every single confessional that you see in the episodes. So he is with us today. We have one viewer. This is good. So we have a very juicy tribal on our hands. Oh, not tribal. Very juicy episode on our hands. And I have a couple of questions that I want to walk you through. Sabrina and Valentina, you both have played, so you can understand this. But we enter this episode straight into a merge. Now, as you can see, when I say everyone drop your buffs, everyone seems very drained and kind of ooh, merge, yay! Not the excitement that you see normally. What does that say about this season and how chaotic it has been? That you see, just they're not really that excited and everyone's still chaotic. Everyone still thinks there's going to be chaos in the game, even though you made this achievement of the merge.
I think it just shows the true chaos of just the whole season in general. I mean, it's been a roller coaster the entire time, and I think it's really the only fitting way to go into the merge for this bunch of people, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
It's a marathon, man. And I think at least for me, a merge just feels like not a reset, because obviously there are alliances, pre-merge, but it's just, you know what I mean? It's just another era of the game, and it just feels like we're not done yet. Yes, we got to jury, but we're nowhere close to done. And especially with the events that happened right before merge, of course they're gonna be drained. You know what I mean? It's a lot to happen.
Let's talk about it a little bit. So Addie, we see her in the beginning of the episode do a nice little statement. We allowed her to do the statement just because it was a part, even though the move itself was controversial, it still was a game move in and of itself. So the contestants still create opinions about it. What did you think about her statement and how people would view her moving into the season or moving down farther into the season?
For me, was it an apology, a real apology? No. But was it tea and was it entertaining? Hell yes. It was very hard to keep a straight face. I don't know about Joe, who was there too, but it was so amazing to watch live. And oh my god, it was amazing. I
were there in person. How did you react?
I think part of the reason why none of my camera footage got used to that was because I was kind of laughing the entire time.
Oh yeah, either Valentina or Joe's footage were used because they were shaking during it. I relied on
standing right next to each other. We couldn't. But I just going into that, when you told me that we're gonna let her make a statement, I thought okay, it's gonna bring people back to reality, sort of just make people see that it's a game and that we're here to bond. And then she kind of walks in and she's like, no, not really, sorry, get over it. So at the same time, I respect the attitude, but was it the best game move? I don't think so.
Yeah, it really spoke volumes into kind of this what do I want to call it? These lines that kind of form You kind of see like Jack, Erica, Andrew's side, and you see the Addie, Derek, Mike's of the world or of this season, and it's kind of like there's no far in between. So let's get into kind of the good stuff, the meat of this portion. So you see Mike kind of on the hot seat in the first bit because he makes this powerful move. He shows his hand, takes out Eli. Jack's like, this is the worst move in Survivor Syracuse history. What did you guys think? Do you guys think that Mike should have aligned with Eli and take out a Derek or an Addie, or do you think Mike made the good move on trusting his prior relationships in Zeleny? And also shout out to Holly, who might still be here, but hi, Holly.
Hi, Holly.
I think Mike made a good move. Just because, you know, like when you're so close to the merge, like I could see like why Mike would want to go in with people that like he trusted more and like knows that he can trust like going forward. And like, yeah, if he had like made the other move with taking out Derek, he would be a part of like that majority. But like, just like watching, you know, the show Survivor, it's just like so like, I mean, I haven't watched like too many seasons of Real Survivor. I've watched enough, but I've never seen like, you know, those big alliances continue throughout the entire game. So I think for Mike's game, he definitely made a good move.
Yeah, I think for Jack to like have that reaction, I think it just goes to show that Mike did make the right move because like Jack's not going to say that if he doesn't feel threatened. You know what I mean? Not to say that like anyone else wasn't a huge threat and wasn't also like could have been a good person to get out, but like Eli was definitely like he was a threat too, and like hey, get him out while you can.
Sure. So yeah, so moving forward, we kind of see. Oh, let's first talk about this. So let's talk about Abby's advantage. So Mike also rants about how he thought it was Eli, then he thought it was Derek, but it turns out to be Abby, and she has a steal a vote advantage. So we'll see how that takes shape further into the season, because as you can see from the tribal council, this is way pushing ahead. But she outright says that, oh, I have this steal a vote advantage. I don't want to use it. There's been too many advantages. What is your guys' view on that she just downright said it?
I could see why she like just, you know, did it, like get it out in the open. I'm sure it definitely took a weight off of her shoulders, but I mean, that's like a really good thing to keep in your pocket though, like especially in the merge. Like, I don't know. I think, I mean, for her game, if she thought it was a good move, then like cool, but I don't know. I think if I was in her position, I might have kept it to myself, or at least like within like my circle.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think like if she had the confidence, like I know I can pull this off. I know, like I think I know when to use it. Then yes, keep it in your back pocket. But I also just think it speaks to like the type of player she is. Not to say like either type of player is like bad or good, but like she was like, I want to gain people's trust. This is the best way to do it. I see no reason to be like a snake at this point, like for my brand or whatever. Nice. So then I don't know which one would have been the smarter thing, but I definitely do think like it was best for her in the moment and as like her as a player. You know what I mean?
I think it definitely made sense for Abby. I found Abby to be very like straightforward, very this is how I play, this is how I'm gonna play. If you like it, join me kind of vibe. And more power to her. We'll see if it shapes out in her favor moving forward. So we kind of get more into the meat of this episode. We see kind of sides form. So you see Derek, Addie, and Mike on one side, and then you see the Maroon 5, Summer, Jack, Andrew, Abby. And then Geneva, Austin, and Sean are somewhere in this mix, and I want to talk about each of them individually. So let's first talk about Austin. So Austin, as we've seen, is just this big strategist, big brain. He comes up with this plan to, after talking it through in the vlogs, he comes up with this plan voting with the Maroon people, but also telling the Zeleny people who they're voting for, so that Derek can play that double idol on that person. In the end, it doesn't turn out to be the right, like the plan that actually happens. But what did you see from Austin, and what kind of player he is by sorting that through in his head and creating a plan like that?
He's a super methodical player, and I think that really, really showed in this episode. I think just like the first episode of the merge in general, just like showed really like who each player really is and like what their game is and like how they want to take their game to the end. And I think Austin is definitely playing like a very thoughtful game. He's thinking it through very, very like intricately, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool to watch, like how he was like talking about, I think it was like in one of the vlogs, maybe in the beginning of the episode, just like going through every like possible scenario. I don't know. I think it just like we're starting to really see how he's playing his game and how that's like how he's really coming into his own as a player.
Mm-hmm. We got a lot of future castaways in the chat. Love this. Love to see this. Before you look at that comment, Joe, what do you think?
I mean,
On the spot.
I like his mental chess that he's doing right there, but I'm worried he's overthinking it. Because I mean, he put a lot of thought into his move, and you know it didn't go exactly the way that he planned, and nothing happened to him that damaged him. But I think that type of thinking can sometimes backfire. So if you really get into this realm of just overthinking every single outcome, then what does that say?
That is true. It's a good point. It's a real good point. So let's move on to the next person, because we also have to fit in, I forgot to say this in the beginning, but Eli, the previous boot, as well as this week's boot, will be joining us later in this episode, or this live stream, so we'll see them also. So we have to get everything in as quick as we can. But I want to put this in from Holly. So Holly and Lydia both agree that Austin and Geneva are definitely some of my picks to win. As of right now, they're both smart and think their emphasis on strategy is going to take them both very far. So let's talk about Geneva. So Geneva, we've seen Geneva on literally the wrong side every single tribal. She's been to, this is her 6th tribal in a row. She's never voted the right way. And she has options for the first time. This is the first time where she said it herself. She feels like she can reset her game. And we really see that. We see Summer approach her with this opportunity to make amends, as well as we see her possibly going to Zeleny. What do you guys? We'll get into the what happens with Summer later on. But what do you think of Geneva so far as a player? Just being able to make it this far with everything against her prior.
Heck yeah. No. It really I remember talking to her about this like during one of the tribals, but like or after. But like it really just like speaks to her like as a player to like survive like through like not only the wrong side of like one tribal, but 6 tribals in a row with like wrong side. And like it really just like I think it speaks to her like grittiness like as a player and like willingness to survive. You know, it's a game, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I love watching Geneva as a player. She has gone through it like in this game. Oh my god. But like she just like coming out of each tribal, like, you know, of course it sucks like going to tribal as many times as she did in a row, but like I feel like it just makes her stronger as a player going forward. Like 100%. And I really
applaud her resume too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She's very smart. My goodness. Mm-hmm. Resume in Survivor and resume out of Survivor. Let's be fair. So let's move on to the next character that I want to talk about, who was also kind of in the middle, but we didn't really see a lot of. And I wanna make note that he did that on purpose. So Sean's main mentality with being returnee is being very lay low. and he wanted to make an emphasis of that by not doing too much. Valentina, you've played with Sean. Sean has this innate ability to somehow be very likable, and people like Abby said it herself. Is Sean even playing this game, or like is Sean playing this game, and is him not playing making him really good at this game? What do you guys think about Sean? Is he actually playing? Is his strategy not to play, and that being said, makes him a better player? I really don't know. What do you guys think? Because Sean was also in the middle there, and Sean could have easily. I mean, Sean did go with the moon side, but you know.
I'm like half and half with it because I remember like we were always like in foodie, so I was like, dude, why aren't you like talking? Because he was like, well, one, they're not reaching out to me, but also I was like, I don't know why you're not like making connections. And he was like, I don't remember what he said, but my whole thing is like, I wish he like, I get the laying low, but at the same time, again, maybe that's just like not the play that I am, but like, I don't know. I wish he like at least made connections on like the personal level more.
Mm-hmm.
At least like earlier on, and I know that could have like put a target on his back, but I think there's a way for him not to have done that, and I think he could have pulled that off. But
Here's a question for you, Valentina. Sorry to single you out, but I feel like I feel like Sean really like I mean, we'll see what happens moving forward in the season, but for right now, we've seen Sean kind of take the back seat in everything, and Sean was the main driving force in your season. Very social, very out there, and this season he's not as social. Do you think that has to do with kind of the differences in cast? The first cast being very social, and this cast being very strategic and cutthroat.
Probably, and especially because I think he kind of went in with like lines drawn in a way. And in the first season, he could have been a part of like the lines being drawn as opposed to like walking into it mid game. I think that was definitely a part of it too. And also like they didn't drink together, you know what I mean? Or at like as much. You know what I mean? Like they didn't hang out at least like as much as we did.
Legal drink. What? All legal. We're over it.
It was soda.
It was soda. What are you talking about? It was crushed soda on discount at Costco. That's why I got it.
Of course.
Shout out to Costco Pizza, though. Not a sponsor. Great pizza. It made for a great merge feast. But yeah, I want to move forward a little bit so we get everything. So we kind of create this dynamic between Austin and Jack. It's kind of an Austin versus Jack story right now. Austin's trying to be the snake, playing both sides. Jack's like big brain Survivor fan. Rob Sesternito, let's take out the swing vote. What does that say about Jack that he was able to kind of suss out that Austin was the swing vote and playing both sides?
It's really interesting that he picked up on that. I mean, I guess when you're in Jack's position and you're looking at Austin's history when like going into the merge, it's important to take note of like who's worked with before and maybe how closely they might have worked before. I mean, because he also like, you know, Jack and Erica are like this in the season, and like if I'm correct about it, Erica and Austin worked together. So I don't know if he was like getting information about that, if he was like just putting the pieces together. But I think that was definitely like cool that he was able to identify that real quick. I just don't know if for him taking out that like flip vote was maybe in his favor. I mean, it could definitely be seen as a good move. It's just that, like, when you're going into it, you have to take all sides into account, and especially what, like, your opponents are thinking.
Oh, yeah. Joe, what was you and Jack were pretty close during the season. What was your view on Jack here? He's kind of this, like, he's a strategist. He's a big brain, but he also has a big mouth. Do you think it hurt him here?
So I think his personality kind of like masked the fact that he knew what was going on in every situation. But eventually that catches up to you and kind of puts a target on your back. Like if you like tell a bunch of people like, if you go against me, you're going home. Well, that doesn't really work out that well. And then on top of that, when you don't work well with your own like alliance and don't meet up with them, don't talk with them, and they're chasing you around all day, it doesn't look good. So yes, he is smart for figuring out everything going on with Austin, but by not working together with the people that he knew that he did have, he couldn't plan effectively forward.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Real good point. So where do we want to take this from here?
Even like Erica's room thing was like really sus.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So Summer and Abby. Now I wanted to feature this in the previous episode, but I just didn't have time, and it also didn't really make for an effect because they weren't going to travel anyways. So Summer and Abby have been building up this plan to try to take out Jack sometime during this merge. Maybe this vote, maybe next vote. And she has this like paper written down of, if we take out Addie this week, then we can take out Erica, then we can take out Jack, and yada yada yada. So we kind of see this shift that now the Maroon 5 people are kind of recognizing that Jack is this player and he needs to be taken out. What was your guys' view on the whole Jack, Erica line that he's in Erica's room to Summer and Abby while they know that Jack was in Erica's room? What was your guys' view on that?
It's just chaos all around. Like, it was just a very chaotic part of the episode. I mean, I don't know. That's all I have to say really about that.
I think while it's wonderful drama and it was very entertaining and I was living, I still think it wasn't a great move, whether or not it was personal or strategic or whatever, just because it's just so it's even more divisive. I know that's like rich coming from me, since like in my season, our alliance had like many different final twos, and it was very much like we know who's the final two with who. But in hindsight, like when you're looking at it like from as an audience member, it's like, well, you know what I mean? Like it as like someone else in that alliance, like, well, Jack is gonna choose Erica, Erica is gonna choose Jack. Where does that leave me? You know what I mean? But I don't know.
100%. So before talking about Summer, because Summer's kind of like this big focal point in this episode. We see Jack versus Austin, but then Summer and Geneva kind of underneath determine the vote in the end. Let's talk about Derek. So Derek has this double idol. He has this double idol. He has to play it for himself, and he's in this position where, oh shit, who do I play this idol for? And he recaps this entire vlog. We have Stressy Derek all over again. He's like, they could be doing reverse psychology. They could be doing reverse psychology. What do you guys think about Derek, just as a player in this episode, and just as like an overall, like, I feel like Derek is just a breath of fresh air with all of this strategy that encompasses this season. What do you guys think of Derek in this episode?
Definitely all over the place. Definitely, his mind was definitely going a million different directions. I could only imagine, like, you know, it's so easy when you're watching the episode and you're like, oh, like, all of this is going on. Like, why aren't they thinking about this? Blah, blah, blah. But if you're really in the thick of it, like, I can really understand how much pressure Derek must have been under. Like, oh my God, especially with this, like, really strategic cast, like, anything could happen. And when you have that power of a double idol, like, that's something that you can't just play lightly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I think especially because, like, his thing was, like, I want to play an honest game. You know what I mean? And so with, like, idols, it's, like, a sensitive thing. It's very much hit or miss. I think I loved how it worked out, but, like, yeah, I definitely get the chaos. It was very endearing chaos, but it was chaos.
No, yeah, like Mike and Derek's just paranoia vlogs are just amazing to watch. It's just great content. And yeah. So let's move on to kind of the underlying development that we see in this episode. So like I said, Austin versus Jack the entire way through. Austin's like, "Who the hell is Jack voting for?" Jack is, "I don't believe Jack a single bit." Jack is like, "Austin's too powerful. We got to take him out. He could have been a shield, but if he makes it far, he could win." And then we see Summer. So Summer wants to get out Jack, and she wants to make this plan so she has the numbers moving forward. So what she does is she tries to pull in Geneva to try to vote for Austin, per se, or the person that Maroon 5 is voting for, to gain that trust, to have her to vote for Jack in the future. So Summer, in this episode, she's thinking 1-2 votes down the road. Do you think that was a smart plan to entrust Geneva in that way, and also think about 2 votes down the road into the future?
If Summer's goal was like to ultimately vote Jack out, I think she did have the numbers, because from what it seems like, a lot of people wanted Jack out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe if Summer approached it a little bit differently, instead of like doing that whole like prove to me that you're with me by voting thing, I think it could have all been avoided, and it could have just been like a clean, like easy vote for Jack. But at the same time, I guess for Summer's game, it's always good to flush out an idol. So, getting rid of that whole double idol threat also has like its pros. So,
That's a good point.
Yeah, for her game, like, I don't know. I think it could have gone either way.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been interesting to see if it actually would have worked out. But do you think Summer's, like, in my view, when watching the vlogs like real time during this part of the season, I was like, why doesn't Summer just join Zeleny with Abby and just take out Jack this week? That would technically be her move, right? Valentina Joe, do you think Summer just wanted this like soul move down the line to lead her like towards like, I don't know how to frame this question, but what do you think Summer's ideology was in staying with Maroon for now and trying to gain secret alliances to get out Jack later?
I think that if this didn't work out for her, she would have potentially moved alliances, but she knew that there was no sort of future for her as long as Jack was there. Just it wasn't vibing well. So in that moment, I think she was trying to stave off going away from the people that she knew really well, she was tight with, just because of one person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she thought her best move was.
Yeah, I agree with Joe. I definitely think it was a good like resume builder. Whether no, I mean it worked, and I think that's what matters. So I don't know. Keep it.
Yeah, it's tough because I think Jacob puts it. I'm gonna touch this comment by Jacob. Shout out to Jacob, by the way. Summer got what she wanted, but not the way she wanted to do it. I think personally, Summer wanted Jack out, yes, but she gave the opportunity to Geneva to make the move for her, and I think that was the downfall.
Yeah,
like she gave Geneva too much power in this sense. I don't know. It's tough because like I don't know. Trust someone else in that situation that's not Geneva. Maybe it does work out. Maybe I don't know. It's tough. But let's talk about Geneva here. So Geneva, she meets Summer. She has this opportunity. She's thinking about it. Later in the episode, we recap with Summer saying, Geneva's in. I'm going to tell Geneva we're voting for Austin. Hopefully she doesn't tell Derek. Tune into the next vlog. We see Geneva saying, I'm going to tell Addie to tell Derek using a finger strategy once Summer tells me the name. So that Derek will play the idol. on that person, and she even susses it out, thinking like analytically and strategically that it's probably going to be Austin, not Addie, Mike, and Derek. What did you guys view of Geneva? One, to think of this like finger strategy, and two, to like even go further and actually find out who the actual target was.
It's brilliant, honestly. Like I loved that vlog so much. It's just she literally just put all of the pieces together, like right there. You know, I think the finger strategy was definitely really smart. Like, you know, when you have to make those at tribal decisions, and just being able to piece together that it was Austin, I mean, of course, like helped solidify like how to help Derek use that idol. So just great job there.
Yeah, the logic was there, and that I love and respect. However, I hated the finger thing. I thought it was so dumb.
We have a hater of the finger thing. How would have you done it, Valentina? How would have you done it?
I would have coughed or something. Like, it's flu season anyway, so no one's gonna like freaking like notice. You know what I mean? I don't know. The finger just seemed rogue, and like I feel like someone's gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not subtle enough, but whatever.
Subtly enough, just like,
Oh yeah. She was like, you know what I mean?
I was thinking like maybe like a TV show or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but
Joe, what was your view on Geneva here?
I think she did what she did. It's like it was going to come down to Summer telling her pretty much like right before Tribal. So it would seem sus if she went up to like Derek, started talking to him. That could cause, you know, people to change their minds, some instability. So she definitely had the right idea. Was I a fan of the finger sign? No, but I don't have a better way to do it. So I would have done the same thing, probably. I don't know. Maybe do bird noises.
Well, with Geneva, we have a hater in the finger signs. I like the finger signs, not gonna lie.
Is what I needed.
I can do
bird noises would be the highlight of the season. It's just a random bird noises during the trial. So let's talk about the voting. So the first voting confessional we see is Summer being like, I might have just screwed up my game. I'm gonna puke. Geneva tells Derek, and Derek plays an idol Austin. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then we go to the votes where Derek plays his idol on Austin, and everyone's just like, oh shit, this is gonna happen. And then we have several zoom-ins to me saying Austin's name, a car in the background that I hate that car so much. I should have just stopped reading the votes and restarted, but whatever. Me saying Austin's name, zooming in on Austin and Derek, and I've never seen Austin more emotional than this moment right here, where he stands up and says, "Hell yeah!" And he hugs Derek in a way that I legit thought he was about to kiss him. I wish I could. Like, I really hold on. I actually, you know what? Eli's not in here yet. I'm gonna try to find a way if I could screen share this. In the meantime, someone talk to us about that entire sequence with Austin.
Oh, it was awesome. It was so funny. I laughed out loud so hard. You can just like see all the hard work and just all of that tension just fade away. Great. Loved it.
Especially because that kid is so like stoic and deadpan, and I've never seen that kid like show any emotion ever for anything or anyone. So seeing that was like, okay. No, it was really nice. I shared the joy. It was great.
Absolutely.
Sadly, I cannot. Oh, yeah, Joe, go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I've only seen him sort of act anywhere close to that one time before, like before this, and that was before a confessional, just after a challenge. He was extremely excited, and then as soon as we got to the confessional, straight deadpan. So
Classic.
he definitely he's something special. I like his attitude.
Yeah, Austin really blossomed in this tribal for sure. Being saved 7-1-2. Crazy vote. You even see zoom in on Jack where Sean is kind of consoling him. And Jack's right. Even though Jack was a powerful presence in this game, I give him that. Like the way he got out is probably one of the most memorable ways I've seen anyone gotten out in Survivor history. So there's that. And we'll hear from Jack later on in the episode or the live stream. Right now, though, we have Eli, the boot from last week. So we'll welcome in Eli, and we'll revisit last week's vote and kind of where Mike was in his mind on it. Eli, what's up, man? Is he
You look like a whole ass father.
What's
I love
up?
it.
is he laggy for anyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really laggy.
Can y'all hear me?
A little bit. It's a little bit
what's-
muddled. It's just really laggy.
No?
Oh, well, he'll be back. But yeah, no. This tribal once again. It's crazy. It's just Addie stood up. Geneva, you see Geneva and Summer. They're sitting next to each other. I think they're trying to explain to each other what's going on. Geneva still, like, if you look back at the episode, Geneva still votes for Austin. Like going with the plan with Summer. So who knows? Maybe Geneva in the next episode will be like, I don't know what happened. How did they figure it out? But yeah. I guess we'll wait until Eli. But where do you think this puts the people on the other side after this vote? For instance, Abby, Andrew, Summer, and Sean.
I think they kind of put themselves, maybe not Sean, but like Abby, Summer, them. I think they put themselves in not the hottest position just because, like, if they're in the majority, they're close, they're, you know what I mean, they stick together, it works. But as soon as they're in the minority like that, it kind of bites them in the ass because it's like, well, they know we're so close. They have the numbers. We don't. We're going to get picked off one by one. Whether or not like that actually happens, because sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. Mm-hmm. We'll see if people like turn on each other and alliances change. But like right now, that's how it looks like. And it's not the most promising. However, well, as we've seen with Summer, I think I don't know about Abby, but definitely Summer, like she could strengthen relationships on the other side and like definitely pull it out. Sorry. But like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You definitely get past it. Thank you, John.
Also, where does this put Erica? That's the person that kind of saved Erica last week. Is Erica, and Erica's pretty much screwed over everyone on Zeleny by getting out Meg, getting out Hannah. Is Erica kind of like alone?
A wee bit.
Yeah, in a way. Yes.
Kind of.
Very good. Very good. So I'm trying to figure out where Eli is. I think Eli he is trying to get it on his laptop. So I guess in the meantime, we'll try to get Jack in. Since we talked about the Maroon side, let's talk about the Zeleny side. So Geneva finally gets a vote on her side. Austin saved, but now wait, right back. Eli,
hey
what's up?
Got it working.
Okay,
great. I'm a geography teacher now. I love it.
That's a major. He has to. Oh, Jack is also here. Oh no. I guess why not? Let's have a good time.
Yeah, bring him on. Bring him on.
Yeah, we'll have a good time of it. Jack, welcome as well.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you hear us.
All right, something's wrong with the mic. Can I come back?
Yeah, try to use your laptop.
It's so hard to use on your phone.
Yeah, the phone is the laptop is really really works well. So not Mike. Wow, talking about Mike, Eli. Last week, you unfortunately couldn't make it, but we have you on now to talk about your elimination. Personally, I thought this was one of the robbings of this season. You and Mitch both, to be honest. And you were presented with a difficult situation on your hands with just you and Abby being on a tribe with Mike, Derek, and Abby. So walk me through kind of what you thought was going to happen during this tribe. Did you really think Mike was on your side?
I wanted to think Mike was on my side, and I wanted to think that I did a good job of convincing him to vote with Abby and I. I actually think he was. Not really. I knew him and Derek pretty tight. Geneva giving Addie the poisons, whatever, can't vote this person out thing really screwed me over. Because I had talked to both of them previously about voting Addie out if we had lost. But not really. I wasn't really 100%, not even 50% sure that Mike was with me.
That's true. Do you think if Addie and Abby, that's tough. Did you think if Addie wasn't poisoned, do you think it would be easier to get Derek and/or Mike to flip on her?
I think it would. I 100% think it would have been easier for probably Mike more than Derek to flip on her, because I think getting Mike to flip on Derek was a mountain of a task. Especially like looking back, like seeing all these vlogs, seeing how close they were and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about Jack's kind of position in your vote. So Jack finds the idol and is presented with two options: whether to give it to Erica for the for safety, or to Abby for a 50% shot.
Yeah.
Do you fault Jack in any way of giving the idol to Erica instead of you?
Not really, because it was partially my fault that he didn't give it to me. Because I think right before Tribal, or right before like we all went into that room, he told me that like we could fix something with Erica. Like if you need the idol, I can give it to you. And I was like, I'll take my chances with Mike. So that one was on me. Other than that, I mean, Erica also had a crazy Tribal of her own. So I mean, it was going to be crazy either way. One of us probably would have voted out either way. So. Would I like to see in the game? Obviously, but it worked out the way it did, and I was a little sad to go home that early, but
No, for sure. I guess I don't know if this is true, but I heard something throughout the season from Summer. At the same point, Summer was trying to get out Jack this episode. You also were trying to work with Summer to get out Jack in the future as well. Was that true?
No, I was working with. I wasn't working to get out Jack. I had met with Andrew in Day, and we had a little interesting talk over a game of pool about how we couldn't take Jack all the way because he would have beat both of us. And we still thought at that time, that was about a week or two. I think that was during the week of Hannah's vote. And then we were just saying that if we do end up getting to like a place where we have the numbers. Or like Maroon 5 has the numbers, we should probably vote out Jack because ain't no way any of us were going to beat him. I never talked about Summer with that though.
Okay. Well, so we could see that Eli and Andrew and Summer and Abby all had.
Jack was not making it to the final two.
Jack wasn't making it. Here's a good question. He's not in here yet, but here's a good question. What was the question? Oh, so we throughout the pre-merge, we kind of saw Jack kind of being the main focal point of Maroon 9, and then you guys kind of all being Jack's goons in a sense, right? Now, like in a way, that's a fruitful strategy of having a meat shield like Jack being the main spotlight, because one thing like that, if Jack's out, you, Summer, and whoever you guys work with move up into a very powerful position. I guess when was that time that it clicked for you guys that, oh shit, Jack is getting too powerful we have to make sure that he's out before he gets us out.
Well, I mean, I don't think I was still in the game when that really became a thing, because at least when during my weeks of when I was still in the game, Jack was still a vote that I needed. Jack was still a person I trusted. So I was still going to work with Jack if I stayed in the game at least a couple more weeks. Definitely longer than Summer trusted Jack, and definitely longer than Summer wanted to keep Jack in the game, because I knew that I could get Andrew, and if Summer was still in the game, or Adam flip on Jack, and Jack had Erica and maybe Sean. Again, I only played 1 or 2 weeks with Sean, so I don't really know him that well, at least in the game. So I was willing to keep Jack around for a lot longer than Summer was. I would have flipped him. Don't get me wrong. I would have flipped him real quick.
Did you think Jack was more like aligned with Erica, or you guys moving, like when you got voted out?
I was watching before I came on, and I saw you guys talking about the Jack and Erica's room and Summer Abby whole thing. Right around when that happened, or like when that happened, that was kind of when I was like, maybe Erica's a bigger part of this than like I thought she was. Like maybe like they're closer than I thought they were. So right around then is when I was like, maybe Erica's with him. Like I like Erica. She's my friend. She was in my alliance for a little bit. Though I'm not sure I would have played the entire game with Erica.
Fair enough. I will add Jack right now. Jack, welcome. We're just talking to Eli on his vote, and then we'll move on to you, and then we'll kind of talk to you guys all together. But Eli, I wanted to pose this question to you, because we've seen it time and time again. People get screwed over by a tribe swap just like that, and I think you were a part of that. Do you think there's anything that you could have done differently or regret in the situation? If you like, was there anything that you regretted?
Not particularly, because I think getting Mike on, I really only had 2 options, and one was to get Mike to vote Derek, or get Jack to give me the vote. And like I was talking about earlier, I kind of was the one who
Sorry, guys, that was me farting.
That really wasn't, but okay, Eli, I think you can talk now.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
But like I was saying earlier, I didn't take the idol from Jack, so that was on me. And then, Mike, I think it was the right move for Mike to vote me out. So, on him.
Yeah. I guess the last question I have for you until we bring in Jack into this conversation. If you were posed with an opportunity to play again, is there something that you would do differently? Or would you try to do the same thing and just hope that the cards fall in your favor this time?
I think one of the things I definitely think I would do differently if I were again was to make sure I knew what was going on with everyone more than I did. Because I had no idea Summer was talking to Geneva. I had no idea like all that stuff was going on. I do like the idea of using a person of power such as Jack as a what you said, a meat shield. Just like give a little extra protection. But I definitely do think that I need to make some moves. If I were to play again, I would make some moves earlier in the game. Or just make sure my name is a little bit more out there than it was this time.
Fair enough. Valentina, Sabina, Joe, do you guys have any questions for Eli? Specifically, Eli?
Oh, no, damn.
All right, that's fine. We'll just move on to Jack. Eli, thank you again. Just stay on the chat. We'll talk to you guys both. So, Jack, once again, wearing the beanie, kind of fun on that. Always wore a hat. Never saw his hair. I wore the beanie in your honor today. I just want to preface. In the beginning of the game, it's just, I thought you had no shot. Like, you were just back off the people. But then week after week, people followed you, and you just happened to be on the right side of the vote. And these vlogs of you just being like, "Oh, they're just voting my way. It'll happen. I'll win." And, like it actually happens. And time again, you proved me wrong. So with this vote, and with you like so focused on winning and so focused on making it to the end, do you feel like you accomplished something that you set out to do when you made this game?
I'd say yes, because can you guys hear me? Is my mic good?
Yeah, there's a bit of like a car in the background. Does anyone else hear a car?
Yeah.
It's a
Literally,
reminder.
I literally got nothing. So, hold on. I don't know why there's a car, but yeah, not a NASCAR guy, but I don't know what's going on, but I'll try my best
I
to
think
keep
it's
it low. I definitely didn't accomplish everything because I wanted to win really bad. But you can only go so far with the strategy that I had. I think it was just lucky that I had people that were so loyal for the time they were, because I mean, if I were them, like I said, like I can't believe they didn't vote me out right away. Like they all knew I was a smart player, but it was just the loyalty, and I mean, they really liked playing with me, I guess, until you see Summer plotting against me. But eventually, it made sense for them to try and think about moving away from me, I guess. And getting close to Erica definitely didn't help my cause because she wasn't in my alliance of 5. But to answer your question, no, because winning was the only way that I would have accomplished everything I set out to do.
I guess looking at it specifically to this vote, you had the right idea in mind. Get out the swing vote. I thought it was an amazing move. Get out the swing vote. Get out Austin. He's playing both sides. Very powerful position for Austin. But then Summer, out of nowhere, tries to, I guess, maybe build up a resume or something, try to get the secret alliance by getting Geneva and telling her about the vote, and then Geneva tells Derek, and all the dominoes fall. Do you fault Summer for doing that and being the reason why you went home?
Oh, 100%. Summer is definitely the one I would pin this on. I can say she's smart, but I don't think it was a smart move for her. But that's just me personally, because I'm bitter that I got voted out. Looking at the episode, it definitely looks like it was Geneva's move more than anything, which is because Geneva is brilliant, really smart player, and she found a way to kind of put that decision solely in her realm. But I feel like, everybody in Survivor says it. Like I said it in one of my vlogs, the people that, the majority, never votes the way that makes them all comfortable, because one of them always gets a nerve that they're on the bottom, or one of them wants to make a big move. So, I mean, I guess I could blame Summer, but I mean, I really can only blame myself because I created a monster, I guess, and I gave a monster in myself. It was just not good.
I guess that brings me to my next question. Do you think you build up the persona of this ego, I guess you could say, too much, that you just got perceived a threat too early, and you see Eli and Andrew talking about maybe voting you off in the future, or Abby and Summer now trying to vote you off? Do you think you just played it too hard too soon?
Yeah, I definitely did. I knew eventually people that I worked with would want to target me, and that's just because Eli's a smart player. Even though I feel like if me and Eli were at the end together, I feel like he would have beat me, just because he's a more likable guy, and I definitely made a lot of people angry. But I definitely built it up too early, and with the Hannah vote and all that, I guess it kind of just made me feel like I was in even more control than I was. So, but that's what it does in Survivor and the real show. You see people make moves and they just get eager to make more. And I mean, the Austin move was the right one for my game. and it definitely wasn't a power hungry move, but I can definitely see how it was perceived to be that way.
Oh yeah. Sabrina, Joe, questions.
In hindsight, do you think you would have like played differently or done anything different?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've thought about this probably way too much. You know, it's not the real Survivor, but this was my opportunity to show what I got, and you know, I feel like I did. And I trusted too many people that I know had no business trusting me, which is just really not the way to do it. You know, not a lot of people trusted me anyways, but I had too much faith in people that I had no business having faith in. Eli going home really, really set me back. Even though, I mean, he had plans to get me out, you know, I looked at Eli as a meat shield because he was so liked. So maybe if I would have, I mean, looking back, if I could have done anything different, giving Eli the idol, telling the two of them to vote Mike out, which probably would have been better because, I mean, as much power as we think the double idol had, you know, all we had to do was survive one vote, basically. So I think Mike is a really smart player. And I think if I would have flaunted the idol and tried to create something that Geneva would believe, maybe they wouldn't have voted for Erica. But I think losing Eli was definitely, it definitely hurt me more than if I would have lost Erica.
Fair enough. I guess this is a good question. Was there any thought in your mind last week of keeping the idol for yourself?
Oh, 100%. You know, I told myself I would never give an idol away if I found it. But as soon as I started thinking about, okay, you know, the flop kind of screwed up my majority. If I don't give this idol to somebody, Eli and Erica could go home. And that leaves me on the bottom. And I know I definitely needed the idol for myself because if I would have had the idol, as soon as Derek gets up and plays it for Austin, I'm the next person to get up and play mine. So looking back, I definitely would have thought it through more, but I couldn't have risked not giving it up and then seeing Erica and Eli go home because that would have just been a huge hit to the numbers that I had.
Oh yeah. And Eli, this is a question for you as well, and Jack. Do you guys think that you were kind of screwed over by just all these advantages that were just encompassed in such a little time in the season? We're pretty much halfway through, and we've seen, I don't even know how many advantages been played, some correctly, some incorrectly. Do you guys think you were screwed over by not having a pretty vanilla season?
You want to go first?
Either way.
Sure. I mean, probably a little bit. There were quite a few idols, a lot of advantages. It was just like a new twist, a new advantage, you know, who had it every week. So it was just a lot to consider when like going to tribal and stuff like that. Like, who do you think has it? Who do you think has an advantage? And it was just a lot.
You know, me personally, I probably would never. I mean, a vanilla season, I think that's pretty boring. Just me personally. The more, I mean, there's a limit to how many twists and idols, but I mean, I would look at it, you know, just how incorrectly Zelani played the snake idols like the snake advantages at the beginning. You know, they really didn't stress the importance of voting out somebody that was the snake, and then that carried on to us. We never really, I guess, stressed the importance of it by trying to get an advantage for a challenge. I think it could have been a lot of different ways, but I definitely think the idols and the uncertainty was definitely a disadvantage for all of us.
Oh, yeah. It definitely would have been so different if Derek was voted off first just because of snake, because it sets that precedent of taking up the snake. And who knows, we might not even have a single idol right now. That being said, Jack, is there anything that you were presented to play again that you would do differently?
Oh yeah. I think I got really comfortable with the bonds I made with just my little core.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't make an effort to reach out to other people during the game, aside from my alliance. You know, aside from talking to Austin, I probably never spoke to Mike, never spoke to Addie, never really spoke to Derek because I was just very comfortable. I think creating social bonds early is definitely something I would do a lot better because I was kind of worried that people would perceive me as kind of sneaking around if I was talking to everyone else and trying to get to know them.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were already people doing that. So I didn't want to put more of a target on my back that I already did. So I kind of just was like, you know what, I'm going to trust the people that I've already talked to. And if they stab me in the back, then I guess I should have talked to other people. So, I mean, if I were to play again, I definitely would try and get to know more people, but try and make it look like I'm not a threat because I'm really just looking to get to know these people.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, with that said, Valentina, any last words before we let these two fine gentlemen go? All right. With that said, Eli, Jack, thank you. Eli, Rob, Jack, proved everyone wrong, and one of the most, like you said, memorable vote outs, in my opinion. Definitely should be proud of the way you got voted out. That's definitely something. With that said, thank you guys. And yeah, have a good night.
See you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. All right.
And the audio's back to normal.
And the audio is back to normal.
Gotta say, I loved my cameo in this week's episode, Luke.
Were you in this week's episode?
And I had a nice cameo in Addie's speech,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a nice little cameo in Jack's exit interview.
Oh yeah, nice. Valentina was also in it. Sabrina was a little freshman. That said, I guess we'll end it off with, you guys all know what happens. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if there was someone who you think represents you, like you would play like in this season, who would it be? And twofold, if you were to play in this season, how far do you think you'd make? Personally, I'm just putting that out there. I think I'd win this season. I'll say that. Season 1, not a shot. This season, definitely final 3 battle, 100%. Definitely finale episode for sure. But what do you guys think?
I feel like I wouldn't have done that bad. I don't know if I'm the most strategic person, but I think I would have adapted. I know you think differently, Luke. However,
Based on the performance in the scavenger hunt,
that was so bad. Oh my god, fucking running. But no, yeah. In terms of who, I have no idea because I definitely think like, again, like we've talked about this before, with like season 2 vibes and season 1 vibes are so different. So in terms of like how I'd fit into that and like who is like who would be like my whatever, like my person, my twin for this season, I don't know if there is one, but I love them all.
she's an icon in herself. No one can be like Valentina.
I'm an individual.
That's basically what that answer was. To sum it all up, no one can be Valentina. No. What about you guys?
I think I'd be either Eli or Mike. Here's the thing. I think it's a 50-50 whether I'd make the merge in this season. It's a great cast. But if I did make the merge, I think I'd be in Mike's position right now. So that's how I see it. Yeah.
Fair enough. We do have a clause in the Syrvivor Syracuse contract that puts, if Joe were to ever play in a season, he could never be voted out. So, Joe, I have no idea why you have never applied to a season because you would have automatically won. But
It's unfair. A player with my charms and the ability to never be voted out, too unfair.
Joe's not one. And Sab, what about you?
Okay, so I guess if I were to play in this season, I think I might have made the merge, or like maybe Barrett almost made the merge, but like I don't know. I also just like I don't really know who my twin I guess would be. Like maybe
I feel like Nassan would be your twin.
Really?
The
Oh,
chillness, yeah.
Chillness for sure.
yeah. Damn. I wish we saw more of Nassan.
So
So
gotta mention him at least once every post. Gotta love that too. Also, shout out to Nassan for winning the most robbed in the Instagram. Sadly, Nassan is a grad student, so he has no opportunity of playing again, which is sad. I want to end off with this question and be as brutal as you can because it was my twist, my idea. Do you like the twist? Because as I've seen more and more in these episodes, a lot of people's games were determined by this twist. I mean, Geneva had 2 snakes, Erica had 2 snakes, and they're both still in. And pretty much everyone who's had a snake has still been in. No one's been voted out that has had a snake. But at the same time, like, precedent does show itself. I mean, if Derek was voted off because of a snake week 1, who knows? The snake could have been just the easy vote every single week. So, what was your? Do you guys like the snake? The snake advantage?
I'm not the largest fan.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not the biggest fan of the snake. I think it's just an extra factor to put on to like each vote. And I don't know, it's just seems really stressful. And like you said, it really had an impact on everyone's individual game, whether they have the snake or not. So I guess my final answer would be no, I don't really like it that much.
I do think it would have been so dumb if people got like voted out just because they like happen to be the snake. Of course, it like depends like how you like do it and how you like, I guess, reveal it or whatever. But like, or if you keep it to yourself, but still, it's like, is that the reason? Even though like they could have absolutely been a number, they could all, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but it made it less vanilla.
True.
It's true. That's true. Joe, what about you? What do you think?
I think I'm not sure if I like it, mostly because I think you can choose to ignore it or not, but this game is a lot of thinking, and when that leads to overthinking, it can make people very paranoid and look for signs of someone that, you know, if they were the snake, most likely just not a good choice. Like, you get what I mean, though?
Did not understand a single word of that, but
It's the paranoia, man. That's why, you know.
No, it does add an additional level of paranoia, especially with all these advantages being like sponged into the game, for sure. But to those viewers out there, there's one last snake advantage to be kept or to be gained, and then we're done with the snake advantage after final 10. So we'll see one more person claim a snake, and then that's it. Personally, do I like the twist? I mean, it's tough because like none of the twists directly went towards idols. Like Erica found out on her own. Geneva, well, the 24-hour idol. I don't know. I would never do it again. I'll say that much. If there was a cast to do it, it would be this cast because I feel like season 1 cast would play it totally wrong, and I think season 2 cast played it right. I think they played it right. So I don't know. It's an okay twist, but I would never do it again. So never see that in another Survivor Syracuse for sure. Sorry to the snake fans out there.
I also love that you answered it when we absolutely did not ask you.
Yeah, hey, I'm the moderator. I asked the questions. I asked myself a question. Yeah, I mean, with that said, does anyone in the chat have any questions for us? Jacob, Geneva, maybe Holly's still here, Lydia.
How many people are you doing right now?
6.
Oh, hot.
Who's everyone's favorite player? Are you talking? Oh, wait, actually, I'll put it. Are you talking about like season 2 or like season everything?
Or Real Survivor.
Or Real Survivor. I think he's talking about season 2. Also, Jacob, shout out for you for being a very loyal fan.
Yeah.
Love this guy.
Snaps.
Season 2, based on anything.
It's hard when you know them personally, you know?
Yeah, it's tough.
I would say mine's Mike. Here's the thing, like I was rooting for him the entire game, and just mainly because he grew up 5 minutes away from me. We same background, same vibe. So I thought it'd be like fun to see him win. That being said, was he the best player? I don't know if I could say that.
Yeah.
I like Geneva as a player. I have a soft spot for Summer because she always helps with the memes, and we bonded about Gossip Girl. But like, I love everyone. Like, I genuinely do like consider myself like friends with these people. So, and I guess like Sean because like season 1, but like yeah.
I have a lot of favorites this season, to be honest. Like, so many of them. But I think if I had to narrow it down to like who I like most as like a player and like how they play their game, and I guess like the storyline they have, I would have to say Geneva. She's awesome. I mean, I also love Mike. I think he is also, yeah, Geneva and Mike, I think, are my favorite players.
Yeah, I would probably see favorite players is tough because usually when I say favorite player, I feel like it would be a player that I would represent or would want to represent. I don't think I'm smart enough to be Geneva. I'd also be very scared if I was playing with Geneva. That's why I would probably pick Mike because Mike is just like he's this cool, chill guy who's good at challenges, but he's also like very paranoid, and it shows this like that's not like Geneva's so smart, and I've never seen her like frazzled, like really frazzled, really. And you've seen Mike frazzled, so it adds that extra like realness to it. I don't know, maybe that's just me talking.
Yeah, I think so.
But if I had to pick a least favorite player, it'd be Mitch Vargas.
Wait, we're forgetting about Oliver.
Oliver too is an OG. So Holly asks, I want to hear everyone's real Survivor faves too. My real Survivor is probably Spencer Bledsoe or Yul Kwan. I don't know. I think I just the brains matched with the paranoia. I mean, Yul's more chill, but I guess Spencer is kind of like the type of vibe that I would love.
I'm like painfully basic, so I'm gonna say Sandra, Queen Stays Queen, Cutthroat, yes, but also Boston Rob's daddy. So
Gosh, yeah, she said that.
I guess based off of the seasons that I've watched, I would have to say my favorite is probably, I mean, I love Amanda. I think Amanda's a classic favorite. And then I also really love Yao Man.
Yao Man. Love that. Joe?
I've only seen 2 seasons. I'm at a disadvantage here, but you know, gotta go with Tony.
Oh my god.
Big Tony guy.
Let's see. Going back to Geneva's point, I'm trying to find the comment where she wants me to single out, but she didn't want to get caught saying Austin. The finger was on her lap, very subtle. Apparently, Summer also wrote Austin on her arm and showed me a tribal. I also told Summer she didn't have the numbers. Read my comments to kill time. I think I got it. I'm not sure.
But would you have done bird calls though, Geneva? I'm just curious.
Joe, do you want to ask the audience some of your special questions? You can say no, I just missed them.
So hit up with the special.
I don't even know if I have one.
Damn.
I'll go with one of my favorites.
Don't do the kids one. I already know you were going to do the kids one.
I like the
that. No. But one of my favorite questions that we did a couple days ago was the cops bust down your door right now
Oh, yeah.
and arrest you in front of your entire family. What do they think you did? What's the first thing that comes to their mind? So,
For me, most likely public nudity. I'll say.
Public nudity inside your house. That's why they're busting
No,
down.
no, I was like publicly nude elsewhere, and then they like found my house and like whatever.
Fair enough. What would mine be? Oh no. Sabrina, what would your crime be?
I'm afraid to answer.
This is just a hangout session app.
Mhm.
No one in the comments wants to answer the question. If the cops break down your door, what would your parents suspect the reason why?
Probably doing something in public that I wasn't supposed to be doing, just to make it really general. I don't know.
So Sabrina just said any crime.
Wait, no.
No, I got that.
I think this is more of a Valentina answer.
I don't know who's gonna be watching this. I can't just straight
Right.
out give an answer. I wanna. I don't know.
She has a filter. What would mine be? Probably stealing.
Mm.
I'd probably steal something.
A
I
girl.
could probably say I wouldn't steal. I wouldn't steal.
I'd
You
steal.
wouldn't steal. I'd steal.
I'd steal.
If it had the right purpose, you know? Like,
I wouldn't be good at it, but like my heart's, I would.
When I was a kid, I used like when my mom would take me to Blockbuster, there was like candy things below the counter, and I always take candy from it, and the guy would never notice. And now I feel bad. Like when I got older, when they were out of business, I legitimately thought it was my fault for a second. I was young. It was a rough time.
It happens.
The
I love
only thing I consistently stole was pencil grips. I don't know why. I just love that.
I hated them.
I love pencil grips, like the squishiness.
Of course, Valentina would like just to feel it. Of course, she would like. I'm surprised she didn't win the touch and feel challenge of season.
Yeah.
Everyone check out season 1 touch and feel challenge, episode 12, I believe it was.
Never forget.
Okay.
Cool.
I was just saying. I mean, 10 people left. Crazy how the season has gone by like that. Just to reiterate, Christmas next week, and then New Year's Day, and then January 7th will be the next episode. Oh, here's a good question. Have any of you played online Survivor games? If so, I'd be curious how you enjoyed and how you did. Yes, Jacob, I've actually played 2. Thanks for asking. Valentina's already laughing. No, I did not pay Jacob to say this question. I do not know who Jacob is at all, just to put that out there. But I have played 2. I played one with some friends that I know who go to like Binghamton. Julia Kelly, season 1, actually introduced me to them. And I finished in 5th. Just terrible twist. We had to go to tribal straight away after the challenge. I had no time to strategize. They voted me out because I was the biggest threat. I mean, obviously, couldn't make it past Final 5 because if I did, I would definitely win Final 4 challenge and then win the Final 3. Then I played a hosts versus players thing at the College Survivor. I played with like Anders, some people that you might recognize Anders, Ethan from UConn, Andrew from UVA, and I finished in 4th there, 1 spot away from making it to the Final 3. And I just can't do puzzles, you know. And if I made it to the Final 3, your boy would have definitely took it home. So I don't know. I'm just setting myself up for 3rd time's the best to win, I guess. But Sabrina will play in a future one for sure. I know that for a fact.
What? Wait, what'd you say?
For a college Survivor game.
Oh, College Survivor, yes.
But not like Survivor Syracuse. I meant like the one in the Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, College Survivor. It's cool. Yeah. Wait, sorry. Play College Survivor? What?
It's
I'm so confused.
Holly, you should put fans on your next live stream.
Okay, Sam's.
I don't know what that means, Holly. Does anyone know what that petition?
I like
I like that idea.
like instead of like Eli and Jack. I mean, I guess past players too. I don't know, but like instead of them, like fans.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Ooh, I like that idea as like the rap stream. If we bring everyone back, hang out, get some fan questions in there.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Be a fun time.
Because next week is Christmas. Would that be an accurate time to do a fan live stream?
It's the holiday. People might be spending time with their fam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I didn't make
Maybe
that.
like the week after.
Yeah, I'll put a Twitter poll or something somewhere. Trying to figure out the day. That's a good suggestion, Holly. Jacob was playing a lot of online games. Another tidbit for Geneva. I voted Austin and not Jack for this vote to establish trust moving forward with Summer. Yep. That's why she made sure my vote was shown at Tribal and why I put stars in the voting country. Yep. I played Summer game too, met some Survivor Maryland legends. Oh yeah, Survivor Maryland. My God, that's a cult. Let me just say, if there's anyone out there that's wanting to play a Survivor College, this might screw me in the future game. But never trust a Maryland kid. They always work together. I would have easily. I played with Mitch in my college org. There's no if someone told me to vote out Mitch, I'd vote him out in a heartbeat. Are you shitting me? I don't care about my school. What the? I don't have that pride. Oh,
We carried Mitch. I would have kept him close.
Mitch carried me, honestly, even though he got voted out. Very.
Oh.
When you share a blooming onion with a man, there's not much that you can't do with them.
Oh, true. Me and Joe and Mitch all went to a Texas Roadhouse, and Mitch ate. I'm pretty sure it was like 12 butter rolls before the steak finally came out. This man was
Pretty
absolutely.
much all had to take half our food home.
This man was flabbergasted before the actual food came out.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I respect it.
a Maryland person voted me out. That was my final two. See, and they stacked the cast against you. You pick Maryland everywhere. Like, come on. Maryland All-Star season. Oh yeah, Maryland makes some great freaking seasons. They just finished their season last week or this week actually. It was really good. Yeah, so shout out to Maryland, UConn, and all of them. Dude, they're killing it as well. It's my favorite Survivor season, point blank. Hopefully, Jacob's talking about us.
Yeah, no, he definitely means that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Remember the cast with Jack and Hannah. How could you beat it? Who cares about Anders? He'll definitely get back to you on that.
Hey man, even though Jack can be considered a villain, he always comments on my Instagram posts. So
We find not to say anything bad about Jack, but we saw some heart from Jack in this episode. If I could roll the tapes, I would. But Jack says it was in his last vlog. He's like, Geneva keeps on texting me, and I'm so sorry. Stop texting me. She's too kind. I'm like, oh, Jack. Nice.
I will say it was really interesting because he has these vlogs that are super he goes, hi, I'm a bad bitch, all that stuff. But then when he was in the car with Abby, that's not his most vulnerable state. But he does have vulnerable moments, which is nice. And I low key almost wish he had more of that by himself. But whatever.
Sure.
Love you, Jack.
I'm talking about Maryland All Stars. That's okay, Jacob. We all know. I filmed a 7-minute vlog of the house right up the top. Geneva, trust me, I know. I didn't want to put too much fuel to the fire. I guess that's why I didn't include it.
This season had drama. I love it.
Oh yeah, I feel like the dust has definitely settled over the 6
Mhm.
months since the season, but whew, this season was cutthroat. My goodness. Plus, seasonal depression with no sun in Syracuse does not help.
Mm.
Good point. Oh, Jack, love you.
Valentina, I love you, says Jack.
Get in line. So does everyone else.
I do have a heart. It just takes a while to get going. It's hidden underneath that hat that he always has. There's no 0 vlogs that I've ever seen this man's hair.
I didn't know
I was wondering why the tribal looked different.
Oh, that's true.
blonde, right?
The one time he doesn't wear a hat, he gets voted off. See, that's what his downfall was.
Wow.
He's blonde, right?
No.
Dark hair. His black hair.
He has black hair.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So Jack, that was your downfall. It wasn't being too big of an ego. It was wearing a hat or not wearing a hat.
Wow.
But it really showed the blossoming of Jack's game from being this guy who wore a fitless hat and a hoodie to not wearing a hat at all.
Growth.
Absolutely. What a good hang that session. How's everyone's break?
Life.
Decent.
I got drunk at 11 a.m. watching Gossip Girl, so that was me. That's why I missed the meeting.
People are she's open for employment, guys. Keep a job.
That's what Ryan says.
Oh, Ryan Baker.
Oh.
I don't dye my hair either. Yeah, his hair is really jet black. I've never seen it.
I just remembered what Jack in the tribal reminded me of, and it was when Creed dyed his hair black.
Oh, that'll definitely be Meme Monday material for sure. Geneva's last finals tomorrow. Geneva, good luck.
The semester's over.
She's a grad student now.
Oh wow!
Or a law grad student.
Congrats! Oh my God. Okay. Law stuff.
Yeah, Geneva, good luck. Oh, Holly's still in the chat. We have 5 people. So Jack, Geneva, Holly, Jacob. Who's the lone wolf that's not talking? Singling out the one person. Oh, and the person left. Wow, it's down to 4 now. I really scouted them out like that. I'm so sorry.
Who's left?
I don't know. Someone left. There was 5 people that were viewing, and only 4 people chatted. I was trying to see who that 5th person was. But alas. God forbid, it's probably my mom upstairs.
While we're here, everyone feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter.
I feel like I need the followers more than Val. She's very facey. I'm not that facey. But I swear, my personality's there.
Right.
It's a sweetheart personality, not an outright personality.
Agreed.
And oh wait, Geneva, what type of law? Like, what type of law do you want to do?
Also follow Sabrina to get her limelight out there too.
Sure. Yeah, follow me. I don't really do much on Instagram, but if you wanna, you can.
Totally Nissan.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I'll tell you guys later. I don't know if it should be live streamed.
Yeah, I think so. We can end the live stream now. For anyone that's watching and has made it this far, congrats. I don't know why you've made it this
Thanks
far.
for putting up with us.
I guess you're as bored as we are. But yeah, the season kicks up from here. No Jack, no Hannah, but we still have a Geneva. We'll see what happens moving forward. No winners picks because all these people know. But yeah, all right. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Val.
And